Well, hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's time for another HYDRA AI castover. None day other than the 4th of July. Happy America Day. Celebrate our independence from terrible campaigns and terrible AI by checking out some of HYDRA's Melee AI. Let's do it. We're going back to Kakadu Port, my old 6-player map that I have not really updated at all since the last time you saw it. If you watched the earlier castover videos, we're going to see what happens. We're going to take a look. Promise there'll be a change of scenery for the next one. So you may notice that the build orders are no longer printing out. I've disabled that by default, but map developers who are trying to make a quick map using the Melee AI as draft AI for their own purposes are still able to enable a debug printout if they so choose. And obviously that helps me as well. But we do have our same teams as far as the colors are concerned. It's red, blue, teal against purple, orange, brown, and the same race as well. All the same race stuff. So we actually see there's probably a couple of different builds than before. Turn off the frame display. I believe this red player here is running a factory-focused build, so we should be able to see stuff. It's actually factory-focused out of both of them, if I'm not completely mistaken. I don't remember if I changed red over to Uprising or not, which is like using the new infantry unit, the Cyprian, uses that quite a bit. And a large number of balance changes have actually occurred since the last time we visited this project. Most notably for Terrans, we are now seeing that they can build their production structures in a smaller space, so they definitely have more space available. And Armory first build out of our purple player here. He is going to go for a fast set of Goliaths, which have also seen a very, very recent change in their balance. Now they require a machine shop. They're back down to vanilla costs. They got a 25 mineral cost increase when I increased their speed. But now that they're behind the machine shop paywall, I figure you can give them that speed for free, because it's not really for free anymore. And yeah, obviously their pathfinding also improved, so they wind up being, I think, quite cost-effective units now. First factory going down for our purple player here, as we idle on by, waiting for the minerals to expand for red. That's why his SCV is sitting there doing nothing. It's been a slow going fixing underlying AI issues like defense and workers being allocated to silly locations, but generally we are seeing better performance out of all of the AI, and certainly some of the more edge cases related to builds are better. In fact, it's got to the point where pretty soon I won't do this just yet, but I'm certainly inclined to think that we're getting to the point where we won't need the resource multiplier for very long, which is an exciting time. I've been thinking about a way to provide proper tutorialization for an RTS environment. And it's one of those things that you really don't see that often. Usually the tutorials are, like if you look at Starcraft's tutorial, you'll probably not have realized this if you haven't played it recently, but all it does is tell you that you got an SCV and it mines resources and builds structures. You don't really learn much about the way that the game is supposed to function. You don't really learn anything about what a good Starcraft player looks like from the tutorial. And one of the ways that I want to buck that trend is by actually having high-quality AI available as sort of like a training partner. It would almost be like, you start off the game and you're playing the tutorial campaign, for lack of a better word. And in the tutorial campaign, you end up having a situation where there's a more experienced officer taking you under his wing for some training. And that sort of training would occur, in theory, like you'd be able to be in a defensible position. You'd have plenty of opportunities, plenty of time to take a step back and watch your AI ally play the game, right? And they would show you what a good player would look like in that respect. Now, the main issue is that, of course, it's very difficult to have players feel like they can be encouraged to learn from an AI ally if that AI ally is cheating, right? This is a pretty close fight over here. Somewhat surprising. Only one Zergling surviving out of that group, but, you know. Oh, there's the Goliaths. They're out on the field. Don't think Marines are going to help against that army, but there's a nice ball of them moving out over here. We've got a couple tanks coming out. Oh, just one right now. Speaking of tanks, 2 factories going down for Red, and his machine shop is nearly finished, with his expansion coming along quite nicely, although taking a little while to actually get set up. And the Marines are intercepting the reinforcements. Catch that beta Goliath death sound that I've re-enabled. Enjoy that. So all these Zerglings definitely could be helping, but again, AI is kind of silly with defense. All these units certainly could be helping, but again, AI is rather silly with defense. Of course, these are completely unupgraded units as well. But nonetheless, the next unit that pops out of here will put him to bed. See you, nerd. Walker army moving out. The AI spinning around these central crashed battlecruisers. Not sure what to do about that. See you, nerd. Oh, hi. Beautiful. Just perfect execution. Slow-ass expansion. A single Mutalisk has arrived. Of course, the worst fear of Goliath players. Now that expansion is not going to get canceled. Oh, maybe it is. Oh, yeah, check that out. His entire base might get canceled in a second, though, so time will tell. The allies are not that interested, it seems, in saving his bacon, bailing him out here. Red's trying to move some units around, it looks like that. He's gonna need to move a little faster than he is. Oof. 1 HP. What a survivor. Oh, sieged tank. It's here. Oh, a little out of range there. Somehow the AI managed to make it look like he was microing his unit there. That was pretty epic. Executed. Ah, oh, he almost got the shot off. I don't think it's going to be much of a game changer at this point. But Blue's taking a third silver lining. Might actually be able to do something. Last couple of times I actually watched this... oh, well, shocker, all of Teal's units are out here. I was going to say, last time I watched this, Teal was pretty effective, so... We do have a work-in-progress version of the Dark Templar changes where they become visible for about a minute, or sorry, a second after attacking. Which is why you see TL able to fend them off. There will be an upgrade implemented at some point that enables them to sort of persist their cloaking for if they kill a unit, basically. So there is that. Brown's launching a 5 or 6 goon attack force over here. And yeah, Teal looks like he's just dead. No more money, no more workers. Just nothing, man. He's out. I don't think his force is going to put Brown out to pasture either, so this is most likely going to be the end of the line for the North team. This game ended much sooner than I expected, man. Effectively ended. Because it certainly doesn't seem like the there's any reaction here. I can't believe he lost a factory, too. And in case you haven't put two and two together either, this is one of the main reasons why the AI is very, very bad at 1v1s, because it doesn't really manage its defenses very well at all. And so its forces might be massing up to attack you and, you know, maybe even do some damage, but they're not going to get too much done as a result of all. Just on account of the fact that they just leave their base out to dry very often. And if they've already started an attack force, it's a very different outcome than if they have started to train the attack force but haven't started sending it out for preparation. For whatever reason, this AI simply cannot see its attack forces as defense units. So we really just need a bit more of an intelligent system. The fast +2 plating isn't necessarily super helpful here either. I mean, really, they need to be packing a little more firepower. But hey, Blue only lost a single base. In theory, he can take another one soon. There weren't that many drones at it either, so maybe not a huge loss there. And for whatever it's worth, Red lost one factory. Nothing too crazy, not necessarily the end of the world. Since we've last done our castover, we've also implemented all of the Azazel's abilities, which you probably won't see in this castover. But we did implement Wyverns, which you may see out of Red. Wyverns are a new Terran air unit. It'll be a while before Red is able to bring them out, though. I guess in theory he could do it as soon as he gets a control tower. He must have at least a starport, yeah. So. And yeah, honestly, for whatever it's worth, I feel like Orange has done fucking nothing this entire game. But he's attacking now. Red is still presumably capable of fending this stuff off, and once he gets his tanks into a half-decent position. Oh boy. Oh dear. I love the complete lack of weapon upgrades. It's just exactly what I was hoping to see. Meanwhile, Purple mounting this assault, trying his best to get in here. Brown occupying the natural, which is already morphed to a hive. Love to see that. I don't think the Tendril Amatosis upgrade was implemented last time either. That's an upgrade that allows sunken colonies to attack a second target if they're in range. So it's notably no DPS increase on single attacks, but it does increase the potential DPS if there's multiple, like say a Marine and Medic army rolls in. Well, you can attack, you know, 2 Marines. It's not a full damage attack either, but... Well, we arrived just in time to witness the absolute destruction of everything we know and love here in the northern side of things, and it looks like the slow whittle away of all of the lovely lovely bases they've made. It will continue. Wow, 2 kills Zergling. Who would have thought? Well, that means that these are not long for this world either. Really, the only question is, can he rebuild? Can he get his way out of here? I'm gonna go ahead and say no. I'm gonna go ahead and say he cannot. Doesn't even have cloaking. Hello? Control tower not even blinking. No wyverns for anti-ground. Just a tiny little spackle of wraiths for anti-air. Oh, he's got Goliaths as well. It's fine. So yeah. Looks like that'll be it. They will continue to press their advantage. I love the supply depot placement here. I really love what you've done with this place. Really think that that has educated us. And they always build their Nexus on the offset there too. I don't know what's up with that. Like the Zerg have figured it out. I think. I don't think you can get any closer. Love to see Corsairs fighting Overlords. Just their natural place in this world. One of the things that we've been focusing on lately as a community was engine updates, specifically getting all of the extenders taken care of for flingy entries, sprite and image entries, basically allowing us to designate new areas for like new entries for new images or new graphics in some way, shape, or form, even if, whether it's a unit or a bullet or just a basic old overlay like a read for an ability like Maelstrom, for example. That will definitely change the game quite a bit because it will allow me to do a lot more than what I was doing. You'll see a lot less recycled junk when that ends up happening. And unfortunately, you're going to see a lot less junk in a second as well, because it seems that it is that time. Red has decided to fall over. Ah, hallucinations. Love them. Hallucinations were updated recently as well. Each cast is 50 energy, but generates 1 clone instead of 2. And hallucinations no longer take increased damage. And, well, I mean, that part was in there for a while. And there's an upgrade that's also been in there since Stormborn that allows hallucinations to deal half of the damage that they would normally deal. And at some point, I'm probably going to have functionality added to that upgrade to make it so that spellcasters are able to retain their abilities. So, you know, for example, Hallucinated High Templar will be able to cast Hallucination, as well as Psystorm and all that. So you can only imagine what might occur as a result of that. Well, off it goes. Just as quickly as it came, it went. A complete steamrolling of the poor North team. I do believe this is exactly how it worked out last time, but you'll be happy to know, although you won't have any proof of it just yet, that it's actually not always like this. In fact, just earlier today, I watched the North team demolish the South team, although it did take much longer than this. There is an element of variance with the play, which I suppose means that in theory it's a good thing, because it's like, oh, you've got, you know, if the AI in theory play better, whatever that means, that foreign concept, that they would be able to get something else done. So that is that. But there you go, just another snapshot of Hydra's progress throughout the year of 2020. And I know this is a shorter one. We didn't expect it to be quite so short, but there it is. We've got quite a considerable amount of disparity here, where Teal got destroyed immediately, so not much of a score there, but also not a huge score for Blue either, though he had a lot more of a unit score and resources score too. Is it any surprise that the one who got the most kills was Brown? Protoss do seem to be pretty good at that. I mean, technically, there was one more kill for Teal and he was than Blue, and he was in the game for a lot shorter amount of time. But that is one of those things that I do want to try to look at, is why Zerg seem to be so lackluster on an individual basis compared to their Terran and Protoss counterparts. Now, obviously, I didn't show this off, but if you end up playing a match of your own, like you're playing your own match, and you're playing alongside some Terran and against some Zerg do seem pretty effective, actually. Like when it's even if they don't have a numbers advantage, they do feel pretty scary. It's just one of those things that you don't really see when you get the whole bird's eye view. You really got to play the content and experience what it's like to be scouting around and suddenly find a bunch of expansions taken and sunkens and all this other stuff. And you're like, oh yeah, I'm playing against something that's actually trying to win. I forgot what that was like. Maybe I never knew what that was like, depending on who you are. And as a final anecdote, I suppose I'll say, I know that we're getting closer to where I want the AI to be, because recently I was trying to reproduce a bug report, and in doing so I just figured I would try it in a melee environment. So I played a rather lackadaisical game where I didn't take it seriously whatsoever and just tried to tech up to a very late tier unit. I was trying to investigate some Arbiter reports. So I was doing like a fast one base Arbiter build basically, and then not very much time passed before I was completely run over. Admittedly, I did survive long enough to check out the bug and find out that it was a prank. But the fact that I was actually still killed after not trying whatsoever is it's pretty good. It's good to see that the AI doesn't just fall over when you're using stupid strategies. So I am happy to report that we are getting a little bit closer there, and we're seeing some changes. We're seeing some variance there, like in the map that we just witnessed, the match that we just witnessed. Sometimes it goes a different way. Hopefully, I'll capture that on one of these videos, these castovers. And like I said, change the scenery next time. Maybe it'll be like the Zerg map, or the first Zerg mission, or the first Protoss mission, or something like that. Haven't actually taken a look at either of those maps in a while, so not sure how they play out just yet, but definitely something I want to keep an eye out on. And if you have any questions, you have any comments, well, there is a whole comments section. I don't know if you knew about that, but other than that, you know where I can be reached. So I will catch you guys in the next upload or stream or whatever. And yeah, hail Hydra, I guess. I don't know. Bye.